How are your relationships being destroyed by unrealistic expectations that society has put on you? Society smothers men and women with very unrealistic expectations. And today I want to talk about two very specific ones. One for men and one for women that is swallowing up men and women and destroying our relationships today. I'm going to talk about those, and we're going to talk about what to do about them as well. I want to make sure that you get this information, because if your relationships are hurting, if you are living under false expectations, if you're living under pressures that aren't yours and you're dealing with them and society has been smothering you with them, it can ruin your relationships. And frankly, you and your partner deserve so much better. So whether you're two women, two men, men and women, 5 women, 1 man, whatever your relationship is like today, I want to talk into your relationship and share what these secret expectations are doing to you and to the person you love. And we're going to build those relationships out so that you don't have to live under those secret expectations anymore. So today, by the way, I might share some resources that are really useful. For example, I have my 4 attachment styles guide. It's a free resource that I share with people. All of these things are available on my website, adamlanesmith.com. And you'll find tons of resources there for fixing attachment. If you live under secret expectations or overwhelming expectations, you may have attachment issues, and that makes you even more susceptible to society's pressure. So if you're dealing with that, check out my website, adamlanesmith.com. Drop me a comment down below and say, Adam, I need help. I'm not sure what opening steps I should take. I'm dealing with these problems. Can you help me? Yes, I will. I will check your comments. I check every comment that comes in on my YouTube channel, and I will help. I will share resources with you. Or if it's really personal and you don't want to share it, go to my website, adamlanesmith.com, share through the contact form, hit me up with your questions there, or send me an email, support@adamlanesmith.com. I would love to connect with you. You are not a burden. You are not a problem. I really do want to help. I live to help people through this. So let me know. I'd be glad to help you. So let's jump right in. What secret expectations on men and women are weighing on us the heaviest? Well, let's go with women first. Women deal with one major unspoken expectation that is horrible in our modern world, that is destroying especially young women and wrecking relationships so that they cannot enjoy them. They are afraid, they are hurt, they are scared, and they are completely unsatisfied in their relationships. And this tears apart relationships and marriages because it's just so awful. What is it? It is this. Women are never allowed to talk about their desire for commitment and emotional intimacy. Women are supposed to shut up about commitment and emotional intimacy. Women are supposed to have sex on demand and be really into it all the time because that's what society expects. In fact, what's interesting is that this pressure doesn't really seem to come from men. Some men it does, but it seems to come actually from other women who are devaluing sex in relationships so that good men are now being whittled away and pulled off by women who will have a sex with them on the first date in an alley before the first date even begins. And now other women feel like they have to come in and compete with that to try to get anything, anywhere. So many women are even afraid to talk about commitment in the first year of their relationship. Now, I run TikTok live all the time. I do 6 events a week. If you want the times for that, email me. It's Monday and Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m., all time central. But so many women come in and say, Adam, I have a question. I'm on 8 years of a relationship now. When is a good time to talk about commitment? I say 8 years? And it's always 8 years, man. It's always 8 years, or somewhere right around there. It's 8 years. And they are afraid to ask about commitment. And they've been having sex since day 1. And some of them have never had a physical climax. And they've been waiting for 8 years, like, all right, when is he gonna bring it up? And they're terrified. And I tell women when they start dating, I say, talk about it on the first date. Say, hey, I want committed relationship. We don't have to get married tomorrow, and I'm not gonna be a horrible nightmare to you until you put a wedding ring on it, but I would like a committed relationship. Is that what you want too? To even just ask that on the first date as a casual aside during the conversation, just to make sure you're compatible with what you want. And women are petrified to say, yes, I would like a committed relationship. It's like ripping out their fingernails with pliers to get them. They would rather undergo torture because they really believe that if they ask for commitment, they will get abandoned. And a lot of this can come from anxious attachment style. It can. But even secure women are kind of scared to ask for it because every other woman seems to be out there just giving it up immediately with no strings attached. Well, I better do something to hook his attention so women feel compelled to have sex that they don't really want, don't really enjoy. Hookup culture is the art of making women feel grateful for being used. Most women in hookup culture are being used for masturbation and don't even realize it because they're hoping it's aiming for commitment. They're hoping that if they are giving him this many climaxes, a woman would bond to the person who was giving them those climaxes. So maybe he's bonding too. He's having a great time. Maybe he's bonding to me. Maybe if I just get freakier and make him have better feelings, maybe he will decide to marry me. That is not usually how it works. Almost never. That is just not how it works. That's not how men work. Men bond biologically differently in that regard. Men are getting dopamine. It's like you're his favorite hamburger. I call it the hamburger effect. You are his favorite cheeseburger in the world, and he is bonding to you the way he would bond to his favorite restaurant. Now, men could be loyal to a favorite restaurant, and when they're hungry, they will go back to that restaurant and say, yeah, I really want that thing on the menu. But you are a thing on a menu. You are not a committed partner that he is going to invest with and build a life with and trust and connect to in that way. You are someone who is just giving him good feelings, and when the good feelings stop, then what's going to keep him? This is the trap so many women are found in. And then they get in there and they don't know how to ask for emotional intimacy either. Hey, can we please just share something? Can we share love? Can we share care? Can we nurture each other? Can we be honest with each other? No, that's stupid. Why are you being so dramatic? Ugh. Okay, I guess I'll just sit here quietly for 8 years, hoping that something will happen. This is a lie that society has put on women. This is a lie that many women live under. If you're suffering with this, I'm going to talk in the next part about how to fix this. We will talk in the second half of this video about how to fix this lie and how to come back from it and what you need to do to overcome it. And frankly, why you don't have to live under it in the first place. It's a lie that this lie is even important. It's not. We'll talk about that. What is the lie that men operate under? It's this: that if they ever ask anyone for help, they are ruined. And if you ever stop and say, I don't know the solution, I need help finding it, that you're worthless, you're honorless, you're stupid, you're unacceptable, you are garbage. This goes beyond, oh, men don't ask for directions. This is, men would rather die by suicide than open up and share with other people that they don't know how to live a better life. Men would rather kill themselves than admit that they are in so much pain they can't endure it. Have you seen the male suicide epidemic? The stats on it? It's not getting better. It's getting so much worse. So much worse. Men every day in overwhelming numbers are killing themselves in huge quantities, especially male veterans. But so many men are going into the grave and never breathing a word of their struggles to the people around them. Society tells men, you can never ask for help. Now, is it men telling other men this? Not really. Sometimes. Is it women telling men this? Not really, but sometimes. It really comes down to this belief that men, our brains go back to observe and forward to act upon the observation. Find a problem, solve the problem. Find a problem, solve a problem. That's what our brain likes to do. And when it doesn't have the data, it doesn't know what to do. It find a problem, stuck. And then if you have attachment issues, especially anxious attachment or avoidant, your brain says no one on earth will ever want me, help me solve this problem. I am a burden if I ask for help. People will see that I am a worthless fraud if I reveal that I can't find a solution. No one will ever want to help me. If I admit I'm weak, people will exploit me. Avoidant attachment there. Men with attachment issues, it's a large population of men, by the way. Men with attachment issues are stuck. They will eventually become stuck somewhere and hopeless, helpless. It's not going to get better. Men are meant to share data. Our brains work like computers. Put in a problem, spit out a solution. Can't find the solution, connect to a different computer who has to solve the problem and has that data, plug the data into your brain, upload it from the other computer. Thanks, computer. Then you go back and you apply the solution. That's how the male brain works. And it needs to connect to other computers that have data, male and female. Usually easier with male to male because we understand the communication style, but men can get information from women as well. But get the data and then go solve the problem. That's how the male brain is meant to work. Attachment issues keep you apart from other people. Society, in that way, tells you you cannot connect other people. No one will ever act in good faith with you, and you don't deserve the solution anyway. You are hurting because you are worthless. There's something wrong with you, and that's why you're hurting, and it's never going to get better. So you should just kill yourself. That's what society is telling them. That's what they're perceiving that society is saying. This is why men in relationships will just bunker down in the worst relationships and just stay in it and never change, and then will shut you down because they're afraid you're going to rock the boat and make it worse. This is a horrible way to live. This is how unrealistic expectations on men and women are affecting your relationships to some degree. Are you in a relationship with a woman? Odds are good she thinks that she cannot ask for her needs to get met for emotional intimacy or commitment. You might need to bring that up and discuss that with her and say, realistically, where are we at? And we'll talk about solutions here in a minute. Are you in a relationship with a man? Or are you a man? And you're sitting there going, I can't ask for help. No one would ever do that. Then you're going to die. I don't want to say it that way, but you're going to get stuck. You're going to get miserable. And at some point you may die an early death. Maybe not from suicide, from cancer caused by stress. Stress does horrible things to you. How'd you like to have a heart attack at 50 instead of fixing your problems and dying in old age at 95? It's an extra 45 years that you could be spending with your kids and grandkids and great-grandkids, guiding them, teaching them, living out your mission in a better way, with less pain. Okay, let's talk about solutions. For women, yes, you can and must ask for commitment and emotional intimacy. Doing so makes you more valuable than the other women who are just out there giving feelings, because they make themselves expendable. Not as human beings, but within relationship contexts, they are just expendable. The fear that they are expendable becomes true because they are not building lasting emotional connection. They are not living toward commitment. They are not living toward a purpose, a shared purpose. They're not committing to something together as a team. They are just there to make him feel good. And frankly, just about anything else can make him feel good too. This is why women in these relationships, he will finish up, towel off, put on his pants, and go get on phone or Xbox or chat with someone else, because it's just one dopamine binge after another, and you were just one more enjoyable meal. That's what's happening. If he will not spend time with you afterward and you feel used and embarrassed and sad, it's because he was just dopamine binging you. And it doesn't mean he doesn't love you at all. It just means that that's all you are to him. If you add more substance into the relationship and ask for your needs to get met and build emotional intimacy and show him what that means, then most men will respond well, because they do want it too, even if they don't understand what it is. Oxytocin bonding is the hormone that happens when you do this good emotional intimacy. Men need it too, really bad. It's just that most men, a lot of men have never experienced it, and a lot of women haven't either. It's okay to want that. In fact, asking for those things is going to filter out the men who don't care about you and will filter in the men who do want commitment. Do you have any idea how many men are in my private community or in my coaching saying, Adam, where are all the women who want committed relationships? Do you have any idea how many men beat down my door demanding that I help them build a dating app to find women who are just looking for commitment? It's a lot. It's a lot. It's frankly more men than women who are looking for deeper commitments. And I say, all right, first date, you should be talking about commitment. They say, no. Men say, I can't ask for commitment on the first date. No woman is going to want me. Interesting, because women are terrified to ask for commitment on the first date, and most women want commitment. Maybe not on the first date, but they want to be moving toward commitment. What would happen if men and women were asking on the first date, hey, you know, I really want long-term commitment. Is that what you want too? Can we build that together? What would happen? You would filter out the people who don't want commitment. Number one, so you wouldn't waste your time. And number two, the people would say, yeah, I would love commitment. I'm not ready to get married tomorrow, but let's get to know each other better and then build a committed relationship if we're compatible. All of a sudden, you have changed the game. Because now you can talk about what commitment looks like. You can talk about what it brings. And when the relationship, if things go wrong a little bit or you see a red flag, you bring it up in the context of, hey, since we're going to get committed, like in this relationship, going to get committed, like a psych ward. Almost sometimes. As we're building commitment together, here's this red flag I noticed. How's that going to impact our commitment? Here's this baggage in me that I need to bring up and be honest about. How might this impact our commitment? What can we do together to make sure it doesn't stop our commitment? Suddenly it becomes easier to talk about these things. Yeah, the stakes get a little higher, but it becomes easier to bring them up on purpose because you have a reason to bring these things up. And then emotional intimacy. Hey, if we're in a good committed relationship, then we need to build better emotional intimacy. It actually matters. Oof. Suddenly it makes everything better. So women, please do not be afraid to talk about commitment. The people out there who want good commitment will be grateful you're talking about. They'll say, oh, thank goodness. I'm so glad you're the one who brought that up. Yes, please, let's build commitment. Will some people fake it? Yeah, sure. But now you have context to push and say, hey, I'm not really feeling like we're moving toward commitment. It feels like you're just kind of spinning your wheels and playing games and making me feel good, and that's cool, but that's not cool. That's not what I want. I thought you told me you wanted commitment, and you can weed them out pretty fast. And you can build deeper bonds with the people who do want commitment. You can invest with more confidence. To the ladies out there, please ask for commitment. The men are literally dying, and we'll talk about that. The men are dying to build a committed relationship with you. Some of them are committing suicide because they don't think they will ever find a wife who wants to build a committed relationship with them. Some men are literally killing themselves because women are afraid to ask for commitment. Not to put that on your shoulders, but I'm not saying to save a life, you know, ride a cowboy or anything like that here, but please ask for your needs to get met, because the people out there who have the same needs will be so glad, and you can finally get what you need. Now, men out there who are literally dying, please don't. Understand that the male brain is a solution-finding machine. Have you ever heard of data nodes, right? Or Bitcoin mining, or whatever you might find? Data nodes are little things with the same sets of data who are all working toward the same solution. And they are all supposed to work within a network with each other, accepting that certain things are true. Now, if one data node becomes corrupted and it gains wrong information, like an attachment issue, it turns wrong and it starts building wrong in the wrong direction. If it's disconnected from the rest of the network on the data nodes, it is screwed, because it will just spin off on its own crazy tangent until it develops wrong information, and that's men spiraling off into insanity and destruction and despair. When they reconnect to the network, they plug back in, the entire network goes, whoa, what's that? And the entire network says, does that data node have real data? And it checks it against the rest of the system and against the known facts and says, wait a minute, you data node, you have missed this piece right here. Here's where you need this correction. And it spirals everything and corrects that data node. And the data node goes, oh, whoa, there's the missing piece. And it recalibrates everything and then fits back into the network it's supposed to be on. That's how data nodes are supposed to work. In a rough patch, you know, computer programmers, please forgive me. That's a very brief oversight. But data node sets are how male brains are supposed to work. We are a network of solution-oriented data nodes. Now consider the modern world where all these men are completely cracked apart and isolated, living in our own little shells, alone with no connection to the main network. This is a nightmare. This is a huge problem. No, this is a huge problem. All of these data nodes, they all need to reconnect and then come to a consensus again about what is true and what is not, and finding solutions to problems that other data nodes have solved. Somewhere out there is a collection of data nodes that have the solution to the pain you're experiencing. Pain is information that you are in a non-optimized state that is harmful for you, so you need to correct into a state that is helpful to you. That's pain. And if you believe it's never possible to reach a state where pain goes away, you're wrong. It's just finding the optimized state and getting out of the non-optimized state. Other data nodes have done this and have your solution. This is why you are watching my channel. You are clicking into my data node and saying, okay, this data node right here has tons of information I've never heard of before. I need all of this data node's information. Give me, Adam. Bleed your information into my brain. This is me, our data nodes, clicking in some little way for 20 minutes. We're clicking in and I'm sharing you one set of data about one problem. When you coach with me, it is an hour-long session of let's click in on every piece we possibly can, and I will share all of those pieces with you. That's what coaching is. In my private community, we click in, men and women, and we click in and say, all right, here is all my information, 2 group sessions a week, at least an hour, usually 2 hours, bleeding that information out into the community, and they're like, oh, thank goodness. And they learn, and they grow, they adapt, and then they help each other. It is not just me then. Right now, oh man, what was the last count on my community? Like 75 people in 1 year. That's not bad for a digital community. 75 members, I think, was the last time I looked. 75 data nodes clicked together inside the attachment circle, correcting each other. Hey guys, I have this information and this idea. I think it might be wrong, but I'm not sure. Correct me on it. All the other data nodes go to work and correct that one data node. And they go, great, and they feel better. And then they have their solution. And they go out and apply it. They experience it, they see the difference, they verify that that information was correct, and now they move forward with a better data set to solve more problems. Observe the problem, act upon it. The male brain is at peace again. This is why so many men who come in to the attachment circle start getting relief pretty quick, because now, observe a problem, get the information from the community, act upon it. Whoa, we fixed it. And suddenly your brain is not in pain anymore. Suddenly you don't feel helpless or hopeless or worthless anymore. Men, connect to some data nodes. Whether that's my attachment circle community, it's on adamlanesmith.com. Jump in there. If you use code YouTube20, you get 20% off your membership fee for coming in the first time. YouTube20, 20% off. The attachment circle on adamlanesmith.com. There should be a link down in the description. If it's not, email me, support@adamlanesmith.com. I will share the information with you if you have any questions about, all right, are you really a really good network? Find out first. A religious community. Your religious community, that's a data node set that you can click into. A volunteer organization where people share your values, data node set. Your family, your extended family network, if they're good, click into those data node sets. The people in the world around you that you actually trust but have never opened up to, click into their data node sets. Odds are good you actually may have some information that they need. Have you ever thought about that? You're not just a data node with zero info, you're a data node with good info. You just need to verify that what you have is going to be useful to the rest of the network because it hasn't been corrupted. And if it has, you just need to correct it. That's it. And then you are a data node who also is self-aware that correction is necessary. Now you're a data node who is self-correcting in some ways. Now you're a very valuable data node to click into a network. You have value and worth for the network to click into. But you got to overcome this lie that every man has to live unto himself and be alone and solve every problem alone. One data node is not a network. One data node alone is almost worthless because it's almost guaranteed to become corrupted at some point and never correct. That's the world we have right now. Millions and millions and millions of data nodes all running their own program without ever verifying with the greater network, ever. And killing themselves because they keep reaching conclusions that life is not worth living. Men, please click back into the network. I know I'm choking up a little bit, but it's really, don't die. Really, please don't die. Click into the network. You are meant to. That's why you have the ability to speak. It's why we have developed language, so that we can share information. If we didn't need to share information, we would not have language. Please think about that for a moment. Let's fix this. Men and women living under these wrong assumptions, living under these lies, living under the pressures that are not yours to bear. Let's fix these things. Please drop me a comment down below if you know someone or you have lived under these things. If you are going to click back into the network, let me know in the comment below. Women, ladies, if you are going to try to open up and build more commitment and be more honest about what you need, so you filter out people who don't love you and filter in people who do like you and value you for you and want the same thing as you do, drop me a comment below. If it seems scary and too hard to do these things, it's probably attachment, usually anxious attachment, but maybe avoidant, send me an email. So adamlanesmith.com, sign up through the contact form and send me an email there. support@adamlanesmith.com. Drop me a comment. Adam, help me get in contact with you. I have questions. Contact me, please. I don't want anyone to go to the grave with these things. I don't want anyone to suffer from these things. And if you are in pain, you don't have to be in pain. That is a non-optimized state that we can correct. Please reach out. And while you're at it, I've got so much more information to share with you on the channel. Please like, comment, subscribe, spread the news. I'm also on TikTok 6 days a week over there at Attachment Bro. Jump over there and work with me and jump into my live events. And I'm on Instagram at Attachment Adam. If you like this information, but you want more images you can share, more visible things, reels, check Instagram. I need more followers over there anyway. I'd love to get that up to 10,000. Let me know how I can help you in the comments below. Share your information. Let's connect and let's work on these expectations so that nobody has to suffer anymore.